attorneys. The call is confidential and free.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's going on? Today is Championship Monday here at Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. I cannot be happier for the city of San Diego and the sports fans of San Diego. I'm not talking exclusively about people who went to San Diego State or people who've been following the program since the early days of Coach Fisher's takeover and where we are today. I'm talking to everybody in San Diego in particular, because I get it on radio. We got San Diego and Orange County, LA, Central Coast. I know there's a lot of people listening from all over the mega market. But for those of you that identify yourselves as San Diego sports fans, you know, I'm not saying exclusively. I'm just saying that right now, having a team go to the Final Four very unexpectedly. You still had to go through the number one team in the tournament, Alabama. Sweet 16, maybe. Elite 8 would be a big shock. Final Four would be once in a lifetime. And making it to the championship is 1 in 10 billion. So for everybody that has been part of you've been beaten down as a fan because the Padres sucked for 20 plus years. And then you were beaten down as a fan because the Chargers were bad and they were peeing all over the city. And then they ultimately left us and ripped our hearts. And then you're part of the comeback where the Padres start spending like the Dodgers and then beat the Dodgers on a Saturday night as the rain was falling at Petco Park. And now you're part of this San Diego State's run, not just to the Final Four, to the national championship game that happens tonight. Who would have ever thought that San Diego State would be playing for the national championship of college basketball tonight against a name brand school like UConn? But that, everybody, is where we find ourselves on this kind of sports fan adventure where you've been through all the downs. And even though they took your football team, you're living through some highs right now. This is freaking cool. And it was awesome to be in Houston, Texas this past weekend, where, by the way, you talk about being a sports fan. Oh, my God, dude. You could have gone yesterday to an XFL football game. You could have gone to see the Lakers play the Rockets last night. You could have seen the Astros play the White Sox yesterday. You could have seen whatever their MLS soccer team is called play the LA Galaxy. I mean, and there was all the Final Four festivities that were happening in the city of Houston. What a great sports city that many of us have seen grow up through a couple of different Super Bowls and through Final Fours that have been there. Congratulations, Houston. Your town rocked this weekend. And hopefully tonight, San Diego State will finish the whole thing off. So, that was a long monologue to just say, man, I am stoked to be here today, back on radio, back on television, YouTubers, audio podcasters, and maybe the people who follow us on social media, man. You saw what happened this weekend with me and Alex going down to Houston. Alex has stayed behind because he's going to the championship game. I had to come back, unfortunately. But we got our man on the ground. And I'll tell you guys right now, for someone who went to San Diego State, Alex, who's been part of this basketball program for the last 11, 12 years, who traveled with the team and engineered at one time and has stood there when Coach Fisher was cutting down the nets and the picture was in SI. I mean, for a guy like this to be there for his school, you got the pride. I could feel it oozing off of you, Grande. Grande's in the house. Big Brown is in the house. Comedian Jason Lawhead is here today, and we're going to have a great show. And Grande, I can see that you're in your hotel room. You didn't even make the bed for us today.
I just got up, dude. I didn't even clean the beer bottles in the Gatorade next to my bed. I just noticed. So it has been nonstop excitement, happiness, madness since we landed Friday night. My voice is shot, my body's broken, but I'm ready to go again tonight. I'm ready to go tonight.
I think you're on your computer mic. I don't think you're on your other mic because you don't sound as normal.
Well, no.
Yeah, much better. Listen to that. So much better. So okay,
Incredible. Incredible,
It's
man.
J
a
Law,
drunk mistake.
yeah, J Law and Browner, you guys have no idea. Yesterday afternoon, me and Rachel and Grande and his two boys, Alex and AJ, we all got together again, and we started partying middle of the day. And Alex, I got to give you a lot of credit, man. Man, you can drink, dude. That freaking
So
guy
can Rachel, by the way.
Oh, dude, Rachel's a pro.
Dude, you're over here, like, we're all going after it, right? We're like, we just decided collectively, without saying anything, we're Sunday fun day. It just became a thing. When I order a margarita with a popsicle in it, like, you know it's going down. And you over here in the middle of our Sunday fun day, you're like, can I get a soda water?
Yeah, well, here's what happened.
Come on, man.
Let me
Sounds
just say
about
one
right.
thing. Let me just say one thing. I had drank 2 carafes of champagne with her.
What's a
Doing
carafe?
like a I don't know. It's like a bottle, Bottom line is it's a bottle of champagne.
Like the
Okay.
little mini bottles?
Not like the mini bottles. It's like they pour it into like a big full bottle. Anyway, we drank 2 of those. Then I went into beer and I was like, you know what? I need a little bit of a break here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want another beer and I wasn't ready to go into some vodka. You guys were partying. These
Yeah.
guys were drinking, man.
It was hot. It was so hot, man. So we were just staying hydrated. That's all.
I got you. Well,
And we
anyway.
ended up at this music festival.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Somehow.
Yeah.
We got in for free and we're just drinking tall cans. And 2 minutes later, the beer's warm. So you had to chug it,
Yeah.
And we actually bailed on that because it was so hot. We went to this bar called Biggio's.
Yeah, Craig Biggio's.
And watched the women's national championship and just needed some air conditioning.
Great game.
I know. I should have come. All right. So look, J Law, let me ask you this question because you're watching this all go down on TV. Alex and I are sitting there literally courtside. The whole Jim Nance thing, we'll get to it. Let me have a minute here to just loosen up. But this Jim Nance story, Alex, went crazy for us this weekend, didn't it? I mean, it was totally bizarre.
It was crazy. It was insane. He was the star of the show on Saturday. And I know he didn't want to be, but he was. There were so many people there for him. And when I mean we're going to start name dropping, Browner, we're going to start name dropping today. It's one of those shows, dude. The amount of college basketball royalty that was around us.
Oh, man.
Ridiculous, dude.
Oh, dude,
ridiculous.
You guys would
I
have
given my tooth for that.
Oh,
Which
dude.
one?
Anyway,
all of them.
Like front
all of-
tooth?
I would have.
All of them.
I would have given up 2 front teeth
Really?
to be where Jim Nance and Clark. I don't know who else was
Well,
with
wait.
you because I only saw some. I'm just telling you.
So
Wait, we'll name drop. We'll name drop all over you, Jay Law.
Please, you should.
Okay, Browner, I'm name dropping. You're gonna be crazy when I start dropping bombs on you here in a matter of seconds. Names.
Are you going to work your way up or are you going to just go from the top row?
No, you start and I'll fill in whatever you don't have.
Well, I have a selfie with Roy Williams now.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
As
shook
sweet as
hands.
can be, by the way, Roy
Yeah.
Williams.
Who's the Houston coach?
Kelvin Sampson.
He was right next to us.
Yep, great, really nice guy.
Was Fred
Shook
Couples
hands.
there?
Shook hands with Jim Boeheim.
Jim Boeheim.
Fist bumped Grant Hill.
Oh boy.
Was it Raftery?
Bill Raftery.
Gave him a thumbs up. Made eye contact. Hardcore eye contact. Hardcore eye contact. We're friends because of eye contact, man. We went deep. And as soon as we walked down there to those seats that Jim Nance graciously gave us, he walks on the court. He looks at Scott. He goes, Scotty, looks at me. And we just thumbs up each other.
Ugh.
And we just give the approving head nod. Amazing, dude. Amazing.
Wait, let me throw in a couple more names for you because Jason will go crazy over these things. Jay, sitting to my right, Gene Katie, who just walked off the floor because he'd been going into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Gene Katie, I honestly so old and being held up and walked around, just was amazing. There's Gene Katie, this legendary coach from Purdue.
He's got to be 90.
Oh, at least. Sitting next to us, Jim Herrick, the former UCLA coach.
Wow.
Lon Kruger.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget, I forgot, they introduced the Hall of Fame class
Right.
of basketball. So you're talking Pau Gasol,
Mm-hmm.
Dirk Nowitzki, Becky Hammond, Greg Popovich, Dwayne Wade, all right there.
Yeah, right. And then later in the night, just by the way, this is after the game. There was like this very little private function that Jim had. And there, Grant Hill, Jay Williams, and like anybody who's a rock star of CBS Sports, their chairman, Sean McManus, uh, longtime Nance producer, who Lance Barrow, who was there, his agent, Jim's agent, Sandy Montag, who's like in the industry. This guy's a monster superstar. Tracy Wolfson, Bill Raftery. The list just went on. Kelvin Sampson was at that party. The list of people that Alex and I got a chance, because again, this was college basketball royalty sitting right next to us, high-fiving us, taking pictures with us, etc. It was a very cool thing that, Jay, for someone like yourself who's a college basketball junkie,
it would have been
this would have been all you, brother.
it would have been over with Gene Katie. I mean, it would have been over. Just things like that, Roy Williams, all those guys. Or I mean, that is awesome. That is awesome, man. I was like, I don't very vicariously live through people much. A lot of times people tell me they vicariously live through me being a comedian. But on Saturday, when because what's funny is I didn't find out all this until I was literally listening to you on ESPN. I was driving to LA. Remember, I texted you.
Yep.
I was in LA to do shows Thursday and Friday, and I didn't know any of this was coming down until I was listening to you on the LA show on 710. I text you, Cap. I remember, Cap. I go, dude, I'm driving into LA right now. This Jim Nance story is crazy because you were kind of just unfolding it all to your LA listeners, and it was really the first I had gotten wind of the confirmation that he's coming through with this. I had heard the whole, hey, if it ever happens, that story, but unreal. And then to see you guys and then to be, I mean, I was like, this is amazing. And I was texting with Alex a lot. I'm like, dude, just drink it all. And I know he's an SDSU grad, so it's even more special. And I mean, just to be close to it, living here, being a part of loving basketball, being a part of you guys, being a part of the San Diego community, loving Coach Fisher. Got to meet him a few years ago through you, Scott. Knowing the history of just amazing. I'm tickled that you guys got to. I'm so happy that Alex is still there and hopefully gets a chance tonight to see the improbable. I mean, it's incredible. I told Alex, I go, you could get used to this, huh? Following a perennial, following a perennial team that might go to multiple Final Fours, and this is something you could get used to. This March ride. I mean, there's nothing like single elimination basketball tournament. It's why college basketball. It's why that women's game was great yesterday. It's why the highest levels of high school and college basketball is the best postseason pound for pound tournament there is. Besides the series, it's single elimination tournament basketball, especially played by amateurs at the highest level. There's nothing better than it.
I was telling brunch yesterday, Browner. I was telling Scott, like, we were at Padres Dodgers. We'll have that forever, right? But that was an incredible inning in that seventh inning in the rain. It was a whole night of awesome. But the moment that Lamont Butler gave us, like that moment, how many times have we said on the show, San Diego State doesn't have a moment in the tournament?
And I kept saying it's coming.
What Lamont Butler gave us on Saturday will live in my brain forever. And it's like a moment in sports that it's so hard to describe. And watching videos of people at bars, at Viejas, at Petco, even if you weren't in the arena, that moment was ridiculously amazing.
I will do you one better. Lamont Butler will live forever. Now, he will live forever. The kid made a game-winning shot at the Final Four. The only way to get above that is to make another shot tonight. You will not go higher than what he had, because they use those shots from that court every single year if you make a buzzer beater. San Diego, now that Scott kept saying they need a moment. Beating Alabama would be the moment for the program. Beating Alabama would be the moment for the school. You got the moment on Saturday. You got that moment. That moment will live forever in sports history, and San Diego State will forever be etched into the Final Four because of Lamont Butler and that shot made and you cannot. And I was telling y'all, whoever you got a plan with, cancel it. Go to this thing.
Yeah.
Whatever time you need to move that time. Go to that thing. I'm so glad you guys were there. Because you guys, like you said, been through the ride with this. Alex is an alum of the school. To be that close to a historic moment in the school's history. You were in person. Where were you when Lamont Butler hit that shot? Oh, I was in the second row at the game, loser. Where were you?
You want to know the funny thing? Alex had two of his friends with him, and I had Rachel with me. So
they got to sit somewhere else.
Well, no. So what happened was, though, is that me, Alex, and Rachel all sat in the Nance seats. And then by later in the game, everybody started to make their way in. So we were sitting in somebody's seat. Rachel very happily would have moved, but Alex had his two buddies with him. And we had gotten tickets for their whole crew. It's funny because Alex was like, dude, do I buy tickets? Do I wait? I'm like, don't buy anything. I put out feelers to probably about 5 people or so. And before I knew it, I was sitting on like 10 tickets. You know what I mean? So Alex and his buddies, though, this is going to be funny because Browner, the shot that they take of Butler hitting it, like when the ball is released from his hands, if you look in the background, Alex is standing there with his hands raised in the air.
He made another background.
Another background. Yeah.
That's great.
Hey,
So
you
we
missed the background now. AKA missed the background.
We made our way down. We were right in front of Chuck and Kenny in the set. Like that's where we were. And Scott asked me, he's like, dude, come down here. Rachel will switch with you. But those seats, those are for like, people aren't there to cheer in those seats. You know what I mean?
Business seat,
business
class.
And they were right in front of the FAU section. And I was like, listen, man, I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of the people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I need to be with the people. I can't be with my hands in my pocket in this moment. I have nervous energy, first of all. I need to get this out.
He told me his legs don't work. I said, can you come down here? He said, my legs don't work right now.
No, I couldn't move. It couldn't move. We were down 14 and we made this comeback.
That was incredible.
So we just watched it. Like if there's a shot of Charles Barkley reacting, we were right there. Like that's where we were. And we went back down to the seats after for the post-game stuff, but it was oh my God. Like look at me, I'm a mess. I'm still a mess, dude. I'm a mess.
Shot.
I was explaining to these guys real quick, Jay. I was explaining to these guys next to me. One guy is like this senior vice president of marketing or something for AT&T. And the other guy is some senior vice president for Capital One credit cards, right? Like I'm in the middle of these kinds of people with all these college basketball coaches there too. Alex is right. We weren't in a fan section. Rachel is the only person wearing like San Diego State gear. I'm rocking all black. And she's upset with me that I don't have on like some Aztec gear. I'm like, all black is Aztec gear. At least that's the way I thought of it. But I'm sitting next to these two guys and San Diego State's down 14 points. And I say to both of these guys, I go, fellas, this team not built for this kind of comeback.
I texted you guys. All right, this one's.
I told my buddy next to me, I was like, I don't think we're going to score 14 the rest of the half.
Yeah.
I really didn't. And FAU was making everything, man.
People were texting me the same thing. I said, no. Said they got it. Hold on. Just hold on. Because I knew what would happen. Because I talked about it before when we on Friday. I talked about it on Friday. They wear people down. And that's what they did. They wore them down. Like it's evidence if you were watching the game close enough, you could see those threes they were making, they started being short. Those layups they were making, they started being short, or they started getting blocked. Mm-hmm. Like one of the biggest plays of the game, people keep forgetting, was the block layup that led to them getting possession and going down and making a shot. So it was shaky. It was shaky.
But Alex makes a great point. They had scored 40 points in
half.
20. Well, I'm talking about SDSU. When it was 54-40, SDSU had 40 points in a 26-minute span. So to even feel like they can score 50, even if they went on a 15-0 run, like it felt like, man, 15 points just for this amount of time left. Just that is, it feels. And then before you knew it, it was 60-56. And that's when I thought, they're going to win this game. They're going to win this.
Last thing, because I know Scott wants to break. That's how defense works.
Yeah.
It never looks good until the very end.
Yeah, right.
As long as you can stop them from scoring, you will be okay. And I think that has been what I admired about this team the most. That's why they don't get shook, because they know at some point you're going to stop scoring. We're going to start scoring at some point because we know we can stop you from scoring.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we got plenty of time. Alex, hold on. I know you're kind of like not sure how much longer your Wi-Fi is going to hold up in the hotel room in Houston, but I want to go back to the Jim Nantz stuff because that people have told me that they've been on that wave all week. I want to talk about that in a second. And then I do want to hear, because Browner and Lawhead, clearly, I mean, really smart basketball guys. Like, I really want to hear how you guys think San Diego State could possibly beat UConn, because they've been just steamrolling people. So stay tuned. We got plenty of time to get into that. This segment of Kaplan and Crew is being brought to us by 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com. You're looking for a great place to watch the game tonight. You could be playing blackjack and poker on one side. You could be going to Sammy's Restaurant and Bar on the other side. And you could be having a great time tonight watching this national championship game at 7 Mile Casino. Their website is 7milecasino.com. Supposed to be fun. You got any problems with gambling, you call 1-800-GAMBLER, but that's a great suggestion tonight, 7 Mile Casino. All right, more on the Jim Nantz story and how it all played out. Coming right back on Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and has become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament Special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Breaking Down the Madness is brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray Lambert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylambert.com for your consultation.
The #1 disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely punted panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained?
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need. Service dogs can range anywhere from $15,000 to $35,000, $40,000. And for someone getting out of the military that's seeking support and help, having that sort of price tag is daunting. So we really wanted to be able to support the veterans to make sure that they're getting a dog that they need in their life at no charge.
I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us. So I found Shelter the Soldier online, and I reached out, and somebody contacted me within 24 hours. And in the next couple of weeks, I was already in the program meeting dogs.
Your View Community Spotlight is brought to you by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Flood.
An ADU is an accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that. Most notably, those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
I was injured in a car crash. I had no idea how much my case was worth. I called the Barnes firm.
When a truck hit my son, I had so many questions about his case. I called the Barnes firm. It was the best call I could have made.
Your case is often worth more than insurance offers. Call the Barnes firm to find out what your case could be worth. We will help you get the best result possible.
The Barnes firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-million.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely punted panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained?
An ADU is an accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lampert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Learn about the many health benefits of MedCline pillows, from easing shoulder pain, reflux relief, and just getting a great night of sleep. Watch Your Health only on Your View, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
The #1 disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermat.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament Special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Breaking Down the Madness is brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. Hey, it's Monday afternoon. It's Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. I can't believe I'm saying it. Today is Championship Monday. And again, if San Diego State were eliminated or never made the NCAA tournament, today would just be Monday, and we'd be talking about the Padres and the weekend against Colorado. Maybe we talk a little bit about what the Dodgers had done this weekend against Arizona. I mean, baseball would be top of mind today. But man, oh man, with San Diego State not only making it to the Final Four, but then winning in dramatic fashion with a last-second buzzer beater that will be an all-time historic moment in San Diego sports history. With all of that happening, and then what happened on the show last week, where Alex was encouraging me, call Jim Nance. Jim always said that if Aztecs make it to the championship, you're going to be sitting courtside. Get those tickets. Skirted around it all week, walked on eggshells. Finally, Jim Nance calls us on Thursday of last week and says, hey, I'm sitting where you would be sitting. These 2 tickets are yours, courtside. Are you not coming? And we had no choice but by Friday to figure this all out. It was a lot easier for me going down there than it was coming back. Alex grinded it out and bootstrapped his way down there as well. Freaking Browner. Hey, J Law, did you hear that Browner created a GoFundMe for Alex's trip? Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
It was
That
hilarious.
was great. That was great. And that's great, dude, because this is once in a lifetime type of stuff. And it was all coming down at the last second. So it was like Butler's shot. You guys got there, very reminiscent of how San Diego State is there. 2 final second wins right at the doorstep of the buzzer, and it's incredible that that's how they got to the Final Four. That's how they're in the final game. You guys got there, almost reminiscent. That's awesome.
If I'll just say this. Obviously, if San Diego State's not in it, I'm not interested in going. Major sporting event in America and a great sports city in Houston, but I'm not going to that. But
nor is Nance holding you tickets.
No,
right.
but if it wasn't for Jim Nance calling us on Thursday and saying, I've got these 2 courtside seats, I felt by not going, I was disrespecting him. And Jay, you'll have an appreciation for this. One of the other influences that was pulling me to Houston was, you remember my friend Pat McGrath. Great story, right?
What a horrible, man.
And
we
so
hung out at the racetrack. What a great guy.
What a guy.
What a guy.
And Pat was with Jim all these years, and now Jim's doing his final Four broadcast, and Pat's not there to be there as his statistician. And Jay, I've got great pictures of you and Pat together at the racetrack having the best time.
I love that guy. And within 5 minutes, I loved that guy. And he was awesome. And to hear Jim you guys didn't get to watch the pregame with him sitting with Kenny and Clark and everything, talking about his last hurrah. And he brought up Pat, and he couldn't hold back the tears. He composed himself quickly. And then just to know, like, man, just last summer, I got to know that guy. You guys left. Me and Pat stayed at the track the rest of the day and went on more horses. And man, we talked sports and all the things he's seen and did. And that my heart was heavy for that. And yeah, man, that was awesome.
That was my thing, is that when Jim called on Thursday and said, I've got these courtside seats, I wanted to be there because, wow, he lived up to his end of the bargain, if you will. And I really wanted to be there, and like the fact that he was inviting us and saying, hey, it's my last Final Four, I've got courtside seats for you. That's one thing. The Pat McGrath connection between me and Jim and our love for this guy, and the fact that Pat's family was coming from Chicago, or actually from Florida, as Jim's guest, I felt like these forces in the universe, with San Diego State playing in this game and in this Final Four, I had to be there. So Jim Nance, after the game, and Alex and I had these seats. Browner, I don't know if you can pull up any of this stuff here, but Alex and I had these seats that Jim had prepared for us. And if Browner can pull up the picture, there you go. Nance is over our shoulder, like right in between us, and we are in the seats that Jim got. So literally mid-court, second row, right behind the press. I mean, we were in it. This is an 80,000 seat football stadium, maybe 70,000, whatever it is. We were in the middle of the action. And when and you can pull it back now, Brown, when this game was over, Jim had this post-game party that was really, really small. And Grant Hill and Tracy Wolfson gave Jim this Final Four jersey, and they had it framed. So they had one framed, and then they had one that he could put on, and then he put it on right there. And everybody was talking, I mean, just so incredibly glowingly of his 30 plus years People love Jim Nance. Like people just love Jim Nance. The audience loves him. And look at this picture, Grant Hill standing right there doing this whole thing. Bill Raftery right there. I mean, it was just incredible. When we left that night, and Jim and I got to admit, we were putting down the margaritas pretty good. They were frozen. They were really good. You know that whole commercial he's got with Charles Barkley, where they say, I wonder what Jim Nance smells like. And he comes out and he goes, I smell divine. They gave a candle, Scents by Chuck, Eau de Nance. They gave a candle.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh,
Yeah, whoa, wait.
It does smell good. It smells good.
Is it divine?
It is divine. It is divine. So, Alex, it was pretty damn cool, I got to say, that Jim, you encouraged me to call Jim. Jim called us. He actually said to me, he goes, Scott, when I was walking around with my iPad, he goes, I knew we were doing a hilarious bit. Like, he actually said that to me the other night. He's like, I knew how funny this was, that I was walking around with this iPad. And it got picked up by a lot of people. I saw I tweeted him, the media critic for the New York Post, who's kind of in that world, that's sort of his thing. I'm like, yo, you ever see anybody get access like this before? It was pretty incredible how Jim came through for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Especially with all.
I really don't even know how to describe like how it felt that day. I really have been trying to think all morning of what to say, but yeah. So I will also reach out to Melissa and say thank you again, because it was great, man. It was freaking crazy.
Yeah, it really was. And just to give
even if they would have lost, it still was amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
Browner, there's a video that Alex and I have, we gave to you. It's where like we're sitting courtside when the shot happens. I want to talk about that for a second, because there were so many different reactions. There was Petco Park. There was Viejas Arena. There was where we were sitting courtside. There's the Jim Nance call of all of this. I want to go through all of this. Before I do, real quickly, though, I got to tell you guys, as we're sitting there, Jay, you'll love this. Gentleman comes up to me at the game and said, hey, Scott. I'm like, yeah. He's like, let me introduce myself. My name is Sam Sheldon. Hey, Sam, nice to meet you. He goes, I've been listening for 20 years. 20 years. I live here in Houston. This guy is the United States Magistrate Judge in the Southern District of Texas, U.S. District Court Attorney. This guy, Sam Sheldon. This guy listens every day from Houston.
Out.
Shout out is right. And he probably won't hear this until tomorrow, because he says he's always a day behind. But he's a Houston judge. He's got San Diego ties. He's a daily viewer on YouTube. So, hey, Chatlins, we're making moves here. We're making moves down into Houston. What a guy. I spent a good 10, 15 minutes standing there chatting with him. Awesome guy. You never know who's listening or who's watching. Pretty damn cool.
Shout out judges.
Yeah. Shout out to the magistrates. You feel me?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Really?
I don't know. We're just shouting people out. We're kind of like in like a hangover, and we got
shout out to the court reporters.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The stenographers.
Yeah. Shout out to the family court judges that hopefully are gonna, I don't know, help me.
Shout out to the bailiffs.
The clerks.
The most unseen man in the court, the bailiff. Shout out to you.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, Browner, can you pull up this video?
Every bailiff looks like they hurt their back somewhere. What do you want? Which video?
I want the video of what it looked like from where the Nance seats were when the Lamont Butler shot went down. I want to go through a bunch of different audio and video here. So this first one, J Law, this is what we were seeing as this thing was happening. Go ahead, Browner. I didn't realize.
That's you, dog. That's you.
I didn't realize that.
How could
you? I didn't realize. I didn't realize.
So much for not cheering in the business section, sir.
Yeah. Well, that was me,
dude. I didn't realize how that was a beautiful shot, dude. Nice
like he took it 1,000 times. The onions. To quote Bill Raftery, the absolute onions on Brian Dutcher to sit down and play defense. This is not getting talked about enough. To sit down and play defense with 6-second differential on the entire shot clock. Down 1. It's one thing to do this tied. I talked to my dad. My dad had a terrible tournament experience in a tie game when I was a kid in a huge regional game where he did this, but it was tied. We went down. We didn't convert. It had to go to overtime. To do this down 1 with everything that could go wrong, and then to commit to, if we get to stop, even with a timeout, we're going the other way without Bradley and Trammell on the floor, and we're going to take the last shot. This is the type of...
Jim Nantz even said that on
He
the
said
call.
he doesn't have his shooters.
He doesn't have his shooters on the court.
Well, I couldn't believe it. And when he didn't have his shooters on the court, I thought, okay, well, foul early on this possession, extend, and get him back out on the offensive side. You got a timeout to work with, no matter whether you need it with 20-some seconds or 4 seconds. But the fact that he just said no in that huddle, he said, no, here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit down. We're going to play defense this whole possession. We're going to get the stop. And when we get the stop, we're going the other way and we're taking the last second shot. Nobody call a timeout. I'll call the timeout. And the timeout was obviously just saved for if they knock in that runner and they're down 3 and it's 73-70. He calls the timeout with 8 seconds and he tries to set something up. He gets Bradley back on the floor to shoot a 3, whatever the case may be. Because what if you give up the 3 there? What if you give up the desperation kick out, last second shot clock 3? The game's over. It's 74-70. It doesn't matter if you got 4 timeouts left. I mean, It's the onions he had to just sit there and then to watch that stop, watch Mensa get it, because a lot could go wrong. You could throw the outlet pass away. The guy receiving the pass could make a blunder and try to force a pass up the court. And the fact that they looked like they ran that thing 1,000 times was the most impressive part.
Well, Butler said his goal was to get to the basket, but they just cut him off.
Sure, Florida Atlantic
he's
played
like, all right.
Florida Atlantic played it perfect. They played a shot to the final second that they could without a shot clock violation, and they got something at least near the basket. It didn't go in, and then they got back on defense and they kept San Diego State spread out to take
The one thing about that game, I will say this, there were no losers in that game.
No, there weren't.
FAU literally defended San Diego State till he was almost a centimeter out of bounds. Like he was on that final shot, he was a centimeter from being out of bounds.
Oh, yeah, I know. They showed that.
And found a way to then cross over, go left, and pull up. And the shot was well defended. So FAU has nothing to hang their head over. They played the best game that they possibly could. San Diego State was 1 point better at the final second.
Mm-hmm.
So
incredible.
The idea that he was able to make that shot, the idea that Dutch, because I don't think it was really anything out of the ordinary. He went with his best defensive unit on the last defensive play of the season. He knew he had a ball handler on the court that whoever got the ball off the miss would get the ball to the ball handler. So he had guys in there to facilitate and function in the normal spots. That's why he never panicked. When they got the block, the guys knew what to do. Everybody turned.
Shout out, man.
Yes.
What a play.
Another one, by the way.
But still.
Yep, another one.
But even still, you got 8.8 or whatever it was when Mensa retrieves it. 99 out of 100 legendary Hall of Fame coaches would have went timeout.
Yep.
And they would have got Bradley and Trammell on the floor.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's look at how that all played out. The defensive stop and then the game-winning shot, and Nance actually bringing up that they have a timeout, but they're not going to call it. Okay, Brown, can you?
Well, I think I got Uncle Teddy's call.
Oh, you did?
I don't think I got. Yeah.
Oh.
I think this is Uncle Teddy.
Okay, so we don't have the Nance call, because the Nance call, he does question it. He says, wait, he's got a timeout. He's not going to call it. And then after Butler hits the shot, Nance says, I think the way he said it was, it's a San Diego miracle, or it's the San Diego miracle, something like that Nance branded it right away.
Here, real quick, before you go to the highlight, before the ball gets inbounded on the sideline, Florida Atlantic, first off, takes a timeout. I don't know what he was doing. Takes a timeout to let Dutcher talk about this, right? Why take a timeout? You're up 1. Just run the shot clock out and take your last shot. Don't call timeout and then take it in on the side. So anyway, that's when Nance says, who takes the shot? he says what you say. Then he literally poses a question to Bill Raftery. The guy's been sitting there, a former coach, been sitting there for 40 years doing what he does. Grant Hill, a former Final Four player, probably 4 times he went, and an NBA. These guys don't even have an answer. They don't. They ignore the question, and then the ball gets thrown in. Like that's how. I don't know. Nance goes, who takes the shot here? These guys, and then
Here we go.
Sure, here's Davis on the drive against AG, puts it up short, rebound, AG. AG got the rebound. Here are the Aztecs down 1, 4, 3. Lamont Butler, pull-up jump shot. Good. They're storming the court. Who's going to the championship game? Not FAU. No. The San Diego State Aztecs are going to the NCAA championship game on Monday.
All right, Uncle Teddy. Way to go, Uncle. I got goosebumps. Awesome.
Hey, listen,
Man.
I'm so glad Jim Nance came through for you guys because I didn't hear Teddy's call to earlier today. That was better because what you're describing, and this is not a knock on Jim Nance. What you're describing, they didn't help him. The guys who were calling the game with Jim Nance did not help him when he goes, "Who's going to take the shot?" They didn't know. They couldn't say anything. They didn't know what to say. So now he was ISO he went ISO on the broadcast because Grant Hill had no answer. Raftery had no answer. So they were kind of like talking, but they weren't saying anything.
Yeah, I just felt like it was kind of more rhetorical. Like the ball's being taken down the floor, no timeout is being called, and it's just like you're talking out loud, like who's going to take this shot because they don't have the shooters on the floor.
He says it before Atlantic gets the ball administered on the sideline. They're discussing coming out of the timeout that he doesn't have Tramelo Bradley on the floor. Then he says, who takes the shot? If they get the stop, who takes the shot? Like he was posing that as a question.
I didn't hear that. Of course, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but
you were at the game. You were at the game. You didn't.
They freeze. They don't even know what to say
Wow.
because who does take the shot?
Wow.
The guy who has it.
You know what I'd love to do? I'm sure it'll be available. I got to go back and watch the broadcast, particularly the second half.
I've watched it twice.
Oh, really?
I still don't know how.
I watched it twice, man, because I was in a crowd of people, so I couldn't really absorb it the way I wanted to, like kind of break it down as it was going. The second time I watched it, that second half, so much more respect for what they did, man. So they wore those dudes down, man. They ran out of gas.
I still don't know how they erased a 14-point deficit. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
You gotta
in my
watch
brain.
it. Yes,
What happened? I know that they got every single offensive rebound imaginable.
Everyone.
They couldn't hit a
Every
free throw to
single
save their
one,
life,
but they couldn't hit a freaking free throw. 13 of 23 from the free throw. The San Diego State could have beat this team easily, almost.
They still only won the rebound battle by 1. All those offensive rebounds late only caught them back up, and they only, that's the crazy thing is when you look inside the statistics, they shot 44% from the field, 59% from the line, 59%.
That's how they got down by 14 points. They couldn't do anything right in the first half.
Like, I told this to Scott yesterday at brunch. I was like, if I were to tell you that FAU and San Diego State made the same amount of threes, would you believe me?
God, no.
Well, that's the only thing.
Didn't it feel being there? I'm telling you, from being there in the stadium, there is no chance that is reality.
Okay,
there is no chance that actually happened. That's a stat. FAU. Every time they shot the ball, it went in. That's the way it felt.
Yeah. All right, last thought, Brown. Then we'll hit the break and we'll come back and talk more about it.
This is a question that we can answer later today. At what point did you realize, like, wait a minute, we're catching up? Because you're right. It seemed like they just couldn't make anything. They couldn't do anything right. But when you kept looking up, the score kept getting closer and closer and closer. Did it feel like that in there?
No.
Well, this guy couldn't move. This guy, he went into like his body.
I went to paralysis. Yeah.
All right. Hey, listen, let me do this. I'll say this. When we come back, you got to see what happened at Petco Park when the shot went down. You got to see what happened at Viejas Arena when the shot went down. And we should hear from Coach Dutcher, and we should hear from Lamont Butler, and we'll do all of that coming up in the next segment. And then I'm still waiting for Law and for Browner to explain to me how San Diego State's going to win this game tonight. We'll get to that all coming up. Hey, before we hit this break, hey, Browner, have you gotten your MedCline sleep system delivered yet?
Not yet, sir. I'm waiting on that thing.
I need one.
I don't know what's happening. Oh, Jay, you've heard about this?
I need one. When I was filling in for you one day last week, we were talking about Alex was doing a live read, and I'm like, I got chronic shoulder pain. I got
Yeah. Last night I couldn't get to sleep. I got home really late last night. I couldn't get to sleep, and I had like this heartburn. I'm like, wait a second, I gotta use the MedCline heartburn side of things. So I usually use the one where I'm putting my arm through because my shoulder hurts so bad.
Right.
But last night I had to go with the whole like acidy thing. Whether you have chronic shoulder pain or you've got problems with like digestive related issues, the MedCline sleep system can help people who have these problems fall asleep, get better quality sleep. Get better results from your life because you're sleeping. Medcline.com/great friends. You save 20%. If you've got shoulder problems or you've got acid reflux related problems, just come to the website and check it out and learn all about it. Medcline.com/great friends. And they asked me to ask, to kind of send positive vibrations on their behalf out into the Aztec universe. All right. Lots more still to get to. You'll hear from the coach. You'll hear from the kid, all coming back. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
This is a huge wall. I'm sure it presented some challenges.
You're right, Sarah. And what it was in the model we noticed there it was too much wood. This was supposed to be clad. And with the beautiful stairs and railings, we realized that we need to come up with a different finish. So we used these reglets that are metal with the drywall, and it gave it this grid look that also matches up with the beams.
Wow, that came out beautiful. If you want to see how they conquered more design challenges, check out Our Family, Your Home.
Since 1971, the LGBTQ Center OC has been a pillar of the Orange County community, proudly empowering and advocating for the queer individuals and families who need our support. We've sustained a safe space for the community for more than 50 years and continue to grow the wealth of resources that the people of Orange County rely on. It's true that it gets better. Until it does, the LGBTQ Center OC is here, and we've got you.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Welcome to the Super Dentist, where kids are the center of our universe. Serving San Diego for over 25 years, the Super Dentists offer the newest dental technologies to provide safe and comfortable treatments for the entire family. We've reimagined the entire dental experience by creating a fun and engaging atmosphere featuring our heroic dentists and award-winning super crew. Book your appointment now. Extended hours and Saturday appointments available. Call or text 855-GO-SUPER or visit thesuperdentist.com.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
So I told him I'm in the mood for tacos, and he says,
I know a great place. Come on, let's go. We get here, and she says,
vegan tacos? Are you kidding me?
and I said, you're not even gonna know they're vegan. We're at Tacos Veganos. Today on
Su Vida.